Cool. Okay, guys, so let's do this question now. So the question that we are supposed to do now is a little bit different, of course, from what we are used to. So good question, very good question for learning purposes. And please make sure you understand this topic before exam. So let's go. I'm going to write a question. Let's say this time around, more POC as the following. So let's say this time around, this is different from the previous question that we did in many respects. So here we have, of course, we have more POC, guys. Now, more POC, what I would like to call products SL. Do you hear that? Makes products SL. So details relating to this product as follows. The details for this product, guys, let's say they are as follows. What we have here for this product, we have SL goes for how much, the selling price for SL here. We have the variable costs, guys, and what else do we have after variable costs, guys? We have fixed costs. So let's say the selling price. Now remember, all these we have selling price, variable cost, and then what you're going to have, guys, here is something else. But let me just put the figures to add life. So let's say the selling price. Let's put the selling price at how much? At 25, and the variable cost at 20, so that we give these guys per unit. So here what we have is, of course, 25 kwacha is kwacha 25 per unit, guys. And then variable costs, let's put at how much? Let's put at kwacha 20 per unit, guys. And then, of course, what you're going to have is a bit different. You're going to say fixed costs, guys. Now notice here, I'm going to leave a line here. I'm going to say the fixed costs, guys, for this one, about 50,000. Did you see that, guys? Fixed costs are kwacha 50,000. I think that's awesome, guys. That's awesomely fantastic. So fixed costs are 50,000. That's the question for more POC. And then the examiner asks the same question. The examiner asks the same question he always does. Calculate the number of units that must be made and sold in order to break even. Guys, see what the examiner does. The examiner does what he does best. Let's say number one, he says, calculate, of course, the number of units, of course, that is units that must be made and sold in order to break, of course, even. That's what the examiner does best. He asks you what he does best. So, guys, I bring it to you, guys. What is the number? Oh, my bad. See, calculate. Yes. So here, what we do here, guys, solution, we do the following. On the answer here, guys, break even as a formula. So the break even points is going to be equal to, we say, fixed costs over contribution, guys, per unit. How much are our fixed costs, guys, in this question? Our fixed cost
50,000.
50,000. Can you see that? Thank you so much. 50,000. Then we divide by contribution per unit. See, the selling price above is about 25. And when we less 20, guys, we are going to have some guy called, hey there, I am contribution per unit. Can you see that? I am contribution per unit, guys. And please, can you tell everybody that I am kwacha 5 Have you seen? I can say per unit if I want, and then say, hey guys, let's delete this one here. So you see, guys, on the 2025 kwacha, after doing that, then we bring that 5 right there. So what we have our solution. How much our break-even point?
10,000 units.
So we need 10,000 units, guys. Now, here is where people miss it in the exam. In the exam, if you just say, hey, there is 10,000 units, and then you feel good about it, is 3 marks, guys, you get 1 mark. Nobody cares about that number in the exam. But what the examiner cares about is what I'm about to write. So, in the exam, then you then say, Muho POC, have you seen? Or maybe let's do this. Let's begin with in order to make it nice. Let's say, in order to break even, then you say more POC needs to produce, have you seen? Produce and sell. Now notice, not just produce, but to produce and sell, how many units? 10,000 units. Then you add something. At this level of production, more PLC is neither, making a loss, nor a profit. Did you see that? I think that's awesome. Now, if you add that statement, guys, you get 2 marks. It gives you 3 marks. The examiner will not ask you to add that statement in the exam. You must add it on your own, because management accounts are going to be presented to laymen who have no idea what you're talking about. So explain to them what this means to them. What it means. They need to know what this means. Please, please. Okay, let's go to question number 2. Question number 2, guys. Let's ask another question here. Calculate the required to generate. Now, notice 40,000. So there we go, guys. The examiner says, hey, guys, question number 2, he says, hey, guys, kindly calculate the level, level of activity, required to generate a target profit. Did you see that? Of course, kwacha 40,000. Isn't that beautiful, guys? I think it is, and everybody knows it. So, guys, because I'm such a very nice man, I'm gonna do the same. Target profit as a formula, guys, and also level of activity required as a formula. So, because I'm such a nice man, I'm gonna say something like this. I'm gonna say the level of activity required is equal to target profit, and then we say plus fixed costs. Then we divide the answer by contribution per unit. Did you see that, guys? So let's go. Level of activity is gonna be equal to now what we have. What is our target profit?
40,000.
40,000. You are fantastic. Then we say we add to this how much the fixed costs, 50,000. Then we divide the solution by how much? By kwacha 5. Did you see that, guys? What we now have here is a beautiful solution what we now have here, guys, is a beautiful solution. So, guys, who wants to tell us the solution? How much is the level, what is the level of activity required to achieve that target profit?
18,000 units.
18,000? 18,000 units. Guys, because I'm such a very nice man, I'm going to do what I do best. And I'm going to tell you this. If you get that number there, you still get 1 mark out of 3 marks. What
Yes.
gives marks is a comment. So you say, in order to, of course, achieve a target profit, guys, a target profit, let's say of kwacha 40,000, more PLC needs to produce, can you believe that, guys, and sell 18,000 units of product SL. Guys, if you say that in the exam, man, you've gotten your full marks and you go to sleep like a baby, feeling good about the exam day. These are the simple mistakes people make in the exam. They work out numbers and then they just say, hey, the examiner, here's my number. I don't know what it means. Can you please tell me what it means? And the examiner says, guys, I also don't know. Can you believe that? Can the examiner say that? All right, yes, you can. So guys, let's go. But question number 3, we say, let's say more PLC this time around, guys, budgeted to sell 13,000 units. Okay. Now, here's the issue, guys. If, this is question number 3, guys. If, let's say, okay, let's say if of course more PLC budgeted, you know, to sell 13,000 units, comma, calculate the margin, guys, the margin of safety. So the margin of safety, guys, is sometimes referred to as the MOS. So guys, what is the margin of safety? Now here's the issue, guys. Because I'm such a very nice man, I want to show you what the margin of safety is. The margin of safety is the number of units that you can lose before you can begin to make losses. So I'm going to give you a question that's going to give us a diagram of the margin of safety, and I'm going to show you on the diagram how the margin of safety is done. So let's go, guys. What do we have here? The margin of safety as a formula, MOS as a formula is equal to what we say here. We say budget. Can you believe that? Minus budget minus the break-even units, or BEP just. Then we divide by the budget. Can you believe that? So there we go. So the break-even budget minus the break-even units divided by the budget, and then the final answer we multiply by 100%, because the margin of safety should be worked out also in numbers, but also as a percentage. So the margin of safety as a number, what was our budget? Our budget was how much, guys? 13,000 units. What was our break-even units, guys?
10,000 units.
10,000 units. You are the best, Mr. Piri. Then that means our MOS in units is equal to how much, guys? 3,000 units. That's our MOS in units. But sometimes the examiner asks you, hey guys, can you please tell me the MOS in percentages? And then you say, hey, dear examiner, I wasn't taught how to do that. Then he says, thank you so much. You pay exam fees and I'm going to enjoy your money. So guys, let's do this. All right. So what we have as a percentage now. So as a percentage, guys, here's what we have. As a percentage, we are going to have something that looks like this. We have 13,000 minus the break-even units of 10,000, guys. Then whatever answer we get, we divide by how much? By 13,000. And then we multiply, of course, by 100. What is the percentage that you're looking at, guys?
23.08%.
23.08%. 23.08%. Mr. Piri, you are indeed the best. May you live long, Mr. Piri. May your children come and see how intelligent you are when they grow up. Okay, so there we go, guys. We have blessed Mr. Piri so much. Say thank you, Mr. Piri. That's what you do when somebody blesses you. Say thank you so much. God bless you too.
I received that declaration.
Absolutely. So don't say I receive. Say thank you so much. I'm not a papa, for crying out loud, guys.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rutambo.
Good. So let's go, guys. So what we have is MOS. The MOS simply tells you, as a layman manager, it helps you know the amount of risk involved at every level of production. But because I'm such a nice man, I always love to go an extra mile. You see, some people even call me Mr. Extra Mile, you see, because I've made it my business to make sure that students pass no matter what. It is my job to make sure that you guys get the best out of whatever it is that we are going to do. So because I'm such a very nice man, I'm gonna do something like this. I'm gonna say here, here we go. So what we have here, we have something that looks like this. Can you see that, guys? And then there we go. Okay. Good. Okay, so again, there we go. We have something that looks, I think we need to reverse this one a little bit, okay? Okay, so there we go. So we have something here that looks like that. I think not here. Let's remove from somewhere here. Okay, so let's go somewhere there. So guys, and then because I'm such a very nice man, I'm gonna do something like this. Yeah, good. Okay, so guys, what the MOS is something like what we're about to do now. So where is my writing pad? Can you believe that I did not come with my writing pad? Oh no, this is sad. So from here, guys, this point here, guys, is what we are calling the break even. So this point is the break even. And then remember at this point here, between these two lines here, this is what we are calling the, okay, so I'm going to do something like that. So between these two lines here, let me do this. Yeah, to make it nice. Did you see that? Yes. So between these two lines, what we have here is the profit. And because I'm such a very nice man, I'm gonna say, let's put danger here. let's say between these, anything below here is what we call fixed costs. Now, in other words, it means a loss. So here, when you're operating from this point here, guys, let's say, how does the MOS work? Now, here's the issue, guys. Between this point and this point here, between this point and this point here, what we have there, guys, is the MOS. What we have here is the MOS. Between these 2 points here, this is the MOS here. Yeah, so let's say, how many units, guys, did we produce? Let's say the break-even units were how many units? We had 10,000 units as break-even, and then let's say the budget was to make how many units? Maybe let's just say the budget was maybe 20,000. Let's just put at 20,000. Yeah, but the question says 16,000. Maybe let's just go to 30,000. The budget was 30,000. So now, unfortunately, in this context, the exam test the budget was maybe, let's say, 13,000. Okay, so this is the output down here. So I must just say here that that is the output. Okay. So what we have there, I have to do something here. Okay, so let me do something like this and say, hey guys. Okay, so let's change that color to something nice. I think, how is red, guys? I think red is nice. No, I think let's stick to okay, red is okay. Let's stick to red. So here, what we have here, guys, here. You see, between 13,000 and 10,000, that is our MOS. Now, why is the MOS important? The MOS is important because it helps you understand the risk involved at every level of production. So let's say, so this line here, upper guys, this line here, the middle line, it represents the fixed costs here. So we're just going to say here, that's the starting point, that's the point 0 there, that's the starting point, that's the point 0. Then going to Moroku, this one represents money. Of course, money, let's say money, we can say in thousands, you know. Yeah, we can put thousands. So what this means is this. What were the fixed costs, guys? The fixed costs, let's just say there, what we have. What were the total sales? The total sales were how much? How much was the total sales? Let's just say 250,000 or so. So let's go to the fixed cost. The fixed costs have been given to us down here as how much as 50,000. So I'm just going the next one to demonstrate the MOS. So here's what happens. The MOS therefore means something like this, guys. It means that if you produce at any line, guys, between here, no. Okay, so there we go. Okay, good. If you produce at, let's say, this point, see your money, you're going to make money because the corresponding entry is going to be somewhere here, which means you still have some profit. You are above the red line. Remember, if you produce below here, at this point here, this point is a loss. Have you seen anything between the blue line, between the red line here, anything between here is a loss. Don't produce anything below the zero line, it's a loss. Have you seen? It is, in other words, it is, we call it loss or what, or fixed cost. So the loss is equal to the fixed costs anyway, in short, that you make here. You make a loss equal to the fixed costs. When you produce below this line, you make a loss which is going to be equal to the fixed costs. That is the margin of safety, guys. Come on, guy. Bangladesh. Okay, so there we go. There we go. So if you decide, because you are so wise in your infinite wisdom, guys, you decide to produce above this line, below a little bit below. Let's say this time around, you say, okay, guys, I'm tired of making money. I want to produce at somewhere here. So what's going to have C? You're going to make when you prepare that point, you still be able to make some money out of there because your money now comes to that point. So you're still okay. You can lose all those thousands of units. But maybe when you come and produce at 10, guys, when you produce at 10, producing at 10 is a risk. Why? Because producing at 10 is not necessarily a risk. It is breaking even at this point. You're going to break even. You won't make any money. See the corresponding see the corresponding amount. The corresponding amount here is 0. See, you make no money. You make 0. But if you decide to produce below this line, see, you're meeting the revenue curve at somewhere here, meaning that see what you're making a loss. Now, this loss is going to be equal to this young guy here, the fixed cost. You will make a loss equal to the fixed cost. Every time you produce at the line below the break-even point, you incur a loss equal to the fixed cost. So the margin of safety helps you to know the levels of risk involved at every level of what? Of production. You know, if you produce at 10,000, you're going to make so much money. You can even put numbers this side if you want. If you produce at 11,000, you make so much. So the margin of safety is simply the number of units you're able to lose without making a loss, and no one will fire you. But if you go below the margin of safety, man, you're gone. Guys, I think we've done a good job with that one. Who wants to clap for me? You can clap for me. It's all right. It's all right, guys. We won't penalize you for doing that. You can just say, hey, Mr. Sambo, you are the best and we love you so much. So guys, let's go to another question. Now, another question here, guys, is something like this. Let's say this time around the examiner does not care. We have a hand from Mr. Kazembe. Yes, Mr. Kazembe, there's a hand.
Yes, Mr. Lusambo. I want to know because the two lines, there is one called the fixed cost line, which is really coming from the money, what is it called? The y-axis. Then from the x-axis at the point 0 here, this line which is going up, what is it called? Does it have a name? Is it the variable cost? What is it called?
Which line?
Other one there. There are two. There is the one which has got a 0 on the y-axis. This one is called the fixed cost line. Now, this other one, does it have a name where there are the cells there?
Are you okay with that? That is
I think
it's a revenue line, it's the sales. Remember, we said anything above this line is a profit. So anything above there, you make a profit there.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that okay?
I think for now, yeah, it's good.
All right. That was a good question, guys. I think it was a good question. That was a good question, I must tell you. There you go, guys. It was a good question, not just enough to make you get 90% in the exam, no, but cares about that question. So let's say calculate, of course we care. Contribution sales ratio. That is number 5. Number 4, guys, number 4. Number 4. Number 4 says calculate the contribution sales ratio, guys. How do we do that? How do we got the contribution sales ratio? Now, here's the thing. Calculate, guys, the contribution sales contribution sales ratio. So there we go, guys. There we go. Here, the contribution sales ratio has a specific formula, guys, that we're supposed to use. So if we are going to work out the contribution sales ratio, what we do when working out the contribution sales ratio, we will first work out the CS ratio. What is the CS ratio anyway? The CS ratio simply get the contribution, we divide by the number of sales. It's a very easy calculation. We get the contribution, we divide by the sales. What are we trying to achieve? This one helps us know the amount of contribution that is earned for every 1 quarter worth of sales revenue. For every 1 quarter we sell, how much contribution do we make? That is the thing that is revealed by the contribution sales ratio. So let's do this one. So this one as a format, guys, the CS ratio, of course, is equal to, we are going to say contribution over sales. How much our contribution, guys? Quarter 5 over our sales, 25. How much is our answer, guys? 0 point something. How much? 0.5? 0.20. So we have 0.20 kwacha per unit. Did you see that? So here we are being told that for every 1 quarter worth of sales, we make 0.2. So this one is for every, for every 1 quarter worth of sales. Worth of sales revenue, that's the amount of money we make. We make something called 0.2. Whatever that letter is, anyway, who cares? So guys, let's go to the last one, number 5. Number 5 says, number 5 says, and I really hope we crack this in less than 5 minutes, because that's the time that we are remaining with before we can go. Number 5 says, calculate the sales revenue that is required to generate a profit of 40,000. Now see, calculate the sales revenue that is required. Now notice there's a difference here. In the first question, we are taught to work out the CS ratio, to work out the level of activity required. But you are being taught to say, calculate the sales revenue required to generate a target profit of how much of quarter 40,000. Now, sales revenue is not the same as sales activity level. So here, what we do, we say sales revenue required will be equal to we are going to say target profit, of course, plus fixed costs. Now notice over the CS ratio. Did you see that? Over the CS ratio? Yeah. So what is our sales revenue? What's our target profit? 40,000. Of course, we know our fixed cost is about 50,000. Then we divide by the CS ratio 0.2. How much is our answer, guys? Please quickly, we don't have time. We have 3 minutes before you're logged out. Time is running. How much is our answer, guys? 250,000.
450 kwacha, sir.
450.
450,000. Okay, good. So that was our sales revenue. That is our what? Our sales revenue required. But do you know this one we could have done it the other way? If I were you, I would have said, hey guys, how many units did we produce? Remember, we produce how many units, guys? At first, is it we said the number of units required? Look at it this way: selling price how much is 25 kwacha, variable cost 20, contribution 5 kwacha, and then what was the break-even units 10,000? What was the budgeted units 13,000? And then the sales revenue required was how much? The number of units required was 18,000. If you get that 18,000, guys, here, this 18,000, you multiply by the selling price per unit, then remove the contribution, you still get the same answer. So guys, how can you do that? Can you do it in less than 2 minutes? Let me even change the number here so that we can put the 450. Okay, good. Our sales revenue. So guys, I'm asking you a question. Can you do this one quickly, differently? If you get that 18,000, the 18,000 you multiply by how much is the selling price per unit? 25. And then how much are you getting, guys?
150,000.
Same. You see, we could have simply said, hey guys, I can do this one differently. Since we worked it out already, I simply get 18,000 units. And then I'm going to multiply this one by how much? By the sales.
25.
Unit is 25 kwacha. Of course, this is per unit. What are we going to have? We are going to have something called 450,000 kwacha. Put a comment in order to generate a target profit of kwacha of 40,000 kwacha. More PLC needs to sell 450,000 kwacha worth of sales. Yep. So guys, thank you so much for joining this evening. It's been a wonderful night, guys. This session is recorded. Let's just let me cut, then we can log in again so we can say goodbye and